Gervonta Davis has always been known for his explosive power in the ring and his fiery personality outside of it, but no one could have predicted what unfolded at the airport this week. Davis, the lightweight sensation, found himself in the middle of a full-blown altercation with fellow boxer Lamont Roach. This wasn't your usual war of words to hype up a fight. It was personal, chaotic, and downright messy. By the end of it, both men were escorted out by security, and police involvement only added to the drama. But what triggered such a volatile encounter? According to bystanders, the fight kicked off after Roach, known for his sharp tongue, boasted about a scandalous claim: sleeping with Floyd Mayweather's daughter. For someone like Davis, who's had a storied yet tumultuous relationship with Mayweather, this was more than a low blow. It was like throwing gasoline on an open flame, and Davis didn't hesitate to react. Witnesses reported that the incident began as a verbal exchange in the airport terminal. Roach, apparently in high spirits, made the provocative remark loud enough for Davis to hear. Davis, not one to back down, reportedly confronted Roach, escalating the situation within seconds. Passengers in the terminal described the scene as chaotic, with Davis and Roach hurling insults and threats at each other. The tension quickly escalated into physical shoving before airport security stepped in to separate the two fighters. Roach, clearly relishing the attention, allegedly kept egging Davis on, making comments about his career choices, and even questioning his legacy. He reportedly said, "You're all bark, no bite. All those fights you pick and choose? What are you afraid of, Tank?" Davis, visibly enraged, fired back, accusing Roach of being an opportunist who rides on controversy instead of building a legitimate career. The back and forth continued until the arrival of the police, who threatened to detain both fighters if they didn't calm down. The altercation wasn't just an embarrassing public spectacle. It sparked a flurry of debate within the boxing world. For Davis, who has carefully crafted his image as one of boxing's biggest stars, this kind of public brawl raises questions about his focus and discipline. Critics were quick to point out that such incidents only add fuel to the narrative that Davis thrives on chaos, both inside and outside the ring. On the other hand, Lamont Roach seems to have achieved what he set out to do: grab the spotlight. Known more for his verbal jabs than his actual in-ring achievements, Roach has often been dismissed as a mid-tier fighter trying to stay relevant in a stacked division. But by targeting Davis, he's ensured that his name will dominate headlines, even if it's for all the wrong reasons. The underlying tension between Davis and Mayweather adds another layer to this story. Davis, once touted as Mayweather's protege, has had a rocky relationship with the boxing legend. While their professional split wasn't as public as some might have expected, it's clear that Davis has been eager to step out of Mayweather's shadow. Roach's taunt about Mayweather's daughter seems to have struck a nerve, possibly because it hit too close to home for Davis, who has repeatedly tried to distance himself from personal drama. The boxing community has been quick to weigh in on the incident. Some believe that Davis's reaction, while understandable, shows a lack of maturity and self-control. Tank has to remember, he's not just a fighter, he's a brand, said one analyst. Getting into public fights like this only tarnishes his reputation. Others, however, argue that Roach's comments were so inflammatory that almost anyone in Davis's position would have reacted similarly. "You can't talk about someone's family like that and not expect consequences," a fan tweeted. The incident also raises questions about the role of trash talk in boxing. While it's long been a staple of the sport, there's a fine line between building hype and crossing into disrespectful territory. Roach's comment about Mayweather's daughter clearly crossed that line, and the fallout has been significant. Some fans have even called for stricter guidelines on pre-fight promotions, arguing that personal attacks have no place in the sport. As for Davis, this incident could have ramifications beyond just his public image. There's speculation that his team might face pressure to address his behavior, possibly requiring him to issue a public apology or participate in damage control. Davis's promotional team, already experienced in handling his off-ring controversies, will undoubtedly have their hands full. But what about Lamont Roach? For someone who's been hovering on the fringes of the lightweight elite, this altercation has thrust him into the spotlight like never before. While some might see this as a cheap ploy for attention, others argue that Roach has successfully positioned himself as a viable opponent for Davis. Whether intentional or not, the incident has created buzz that could translate into a high-profile fight, one that Roach seems eager to capitalize on. The timing of this drama couldn't be more ironic, given that both fighters are navigating pivotal points in their careers. Davis, fresh off a string of dominant performances, is being touted as one of the sport's biggest draws. However, his critics argue that he has yet to face the toughest challenges in his division. Roach, on the other hand, has struggled to break into the upper echelon of the lightweight ranks, making this altercation a potential turning point for his career. As the dust settles, the question on everyone's mind is whether this incident will lead to an actual fight between the two. While Davis has no shortage of potential opponents, a clash with Roach could be an intriguing matchup, if only for the personal stakes involved. Roach, for his part, seems more than willing to step into the ring, using the airport brawl as a springboard to challenge one of the division's top stars. But even if the two fighters do face off, the road to redemption for Davis will be a long one. For a boxer of his caliber, maintaining focus and avoiding distractions is crucial. Incidents like this not only jeopardize his reputation, but also raise questions about his ability to handle the pressures that come with being a global superstar. At the same time, it's worth noting that Davis has thrived on controversy before. His career has been marked by ups and downs, yet he's managed to remain a dominant force in the ring. Whether this latest drama will derail him or serve as motivation remains to be seen. One thing is certain, though. The boxing world will be watching closely to see how Davis responds, both in and out of the ring. When we talk about Gervonta Davis, the first thing that comes to mind is his meteoric rise in boxing. But let's not forget, his story runs parallel to the way power dynamics are shifting in the world, inside and outside the ring. Take someone like Elon Musk, for example. Once a darling of both political sides, Musk's transition to being one of the most polarizing figures reflects a broader cultural shift. He's gone from being praised for his tech innovation to being criticized for speaking his mind. Much like Gervonta, who's faced his share of criticism while carving out his legacy, Gervonta's journey in boxing mirrors this idea of disruption. Both he and Musk have broken away from the molds people tried to box them into. Whether it's Davis walking through weight classes like a wrecking ball, or Musk calling out what he sees as hypocrisy in politics, the parallels are striking. And just like Musk isn't afraid to challenge the status quo in business and culture, Davis isn't afraid to take on anyone in the fight game, regardless of their stature or reputation. It's this fearless attitude that makes Davis not just a fighter, but a symbol of defiance. Someone who, like Musk, thrives in an era where challenging the norm means making enemies. Davis doesn't just fight opponents. He fights doubters, critics, and even his own limits, proving that being a disruptor isn't just about what you do. It's about how much you're willing to risk for greatness. For now, the altercation at the airport serves as a reminder of the high stakes and intense rivalries that define boxing. While trash talk and mind games are part of the sport's DNA, the line between building hype and crossing boundaries is often blurred. As Davis and Roach continue to trade barbs in the aftermath of their confrontation, one can only hope that their next clash takes place where it belongs, inside the ring. What's your take on this explosive situation? Could this altercation lead to a fight that defines the lightweight division? Or is it just another chapter in the wild and unpredictable saga of Gervonta Davis? Let us know your thoughts.